Everyone, welcome to this webinar. My name is Raza Aziz. I hope everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, just give me a loud yes in your chat boxes on your right-hand side. There's a question in the chat box there. I want to hear all kinds of yeses, just so that we can make sure that you can see our screen and you can hear me as well. So let me just say, yes, we've got yeses coming through. Excellent, 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 loud and clear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Raza Aziz. I will be your host today. I'm a publishing consultant and a speaker here with Black Card Books. And of course, you got all my credentials over there. I'm the author of this beautiful, beautiful book titled The Performance Zone. And today I will have a pleasure of being your host and leading you through this entire webinar. Before I introduce you to the speaker, what I want you all to do is do this. Go to this link, and I want you to watch Bob Proctor's video endorsing your speaker today, Mr. Jerry Roberts. So go to tinyurl.com/BP-endorsement. What I will also do is I'm going to put it in the chat box here for you to click on this link and watch it. So as you're watching this, I'm just going to be quiet for a bit, let you go. Watch it for a few minutes, just for a minute or two, and then I will be right back with you. So watch out for the link in the chat box as well. And please make sure everyone has muted their lines so that we're not hearing any feedback. Thank you. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. Let's just you know what, let's just get the energy up over here. This is a webinar. We can't see you. You can't see us. So we want to make sure that we're hearing you loud and clear. I hope you guys are ready, because you are in for a treat here. This is unlike anything that you have ever attended, anything that you've ever heard before. So I want to hear I want to hear where you guys are from, how excited you are about this book. Let me hear some noise in the chat room. Give me a hi. Tell me where you're from, where you're coming in from. So post in the box. Let's go. Because I'm telling you, we've got UK, we've got Serbia in the house. Hello, Serbia. Wow. This is so great. Where else are we from? We're going to UK. We've got a few people from UK, from Serbia, from Amsterdam. This is so great. And we're crossing the ocean, coming to North America now. We've got Los Angeles in the house. That is great. We've got a few cities, of course, in the United States. Any Canadians in the house? Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yay, Canada in the house. We've got Ottawa here. This is absolutely great. You guys are in for a treat, because we're doing this. You know what? Jerry Robert has not done doesn't do these a lot himself. Generally, his team members are doing it and other speakers. So you guys are getting a lot of treat over here. So let's get this show on the road. Everyone is logging in. We've got a few people more coming in as well. So we're going to get started. started, let me give you a bit of an overview of what you're seeing here. Of course, we are in GoToWebinar, so just so that you know how this whole thing operates, there's a panel on your right-hand side on the screen. You see right there, the little red arrow there, right at the top. If you click that arrow, the panel will hide. If you click it again, the panel will open. Make sure that you are able to see, of course, if you want to make it full screen, you'll be able to click on that little window right there as well, right below the red arrow, and you're able to see it, okay? So just want to make sure, and of course, if you want to raise your hand, you got a question, you can type in your question as well, click on raising your hand so that we know that to call upon you. And of course, you've got a question field. Please make sure that you use the question field to ask any questions. We've got team members on here to make sure that we can answer all of your questions, because we want to make sure that this is a productive and informative session for you. Not only that, of course, we've got a chat box as well that you'll have access to. And what I want you to do is, if you notice on that panel that I was talking about, there's a section called handouts. Now, there are two things over there that I want you to download there, okay? So if you see the handouts there, you will see it's called a PABGR workbook, okay? So this is a brand new, never seen before workbook that we're providing to you. Download that right now before we get started. And the other file that you want to download as well is, of course, your revenue calculator. We still got a lot more people coming in, joining in right now, so this is great. For those of you who are joining in right now, my name is Raza Aziz. I'm just simply getting everybody started before I bring your speaker on board. Make sure that you're looking at this panel that's on the right-hand side. This is where a lot of the interaction will be going on. Okay. Oh wow, we've got Australia, we got Texas, and now this is great. We're filling in the room right now as quickly as possible. So here's the other thing I want to highlight for you. There will be many. We will be asking for your opinion. The speaker will be interacting with you because we want to make sure this is interactive. So you want to use the question and the chat box field to continuously respond to the questions. We will also have polling. So what will happen is as soon as the speaker is asking a poll question, the poll question will appear on your screen. You have to use your mouse and just click on your choice of the answer. Okay, I hope everyone is ready, poised. Make sure you have your waters, your teas, your coffees, whatever it is that you drink. Make sure it is non-alcoholic, and we will get started. So let's look forward to what the agenda for today. So today we're going to be talking to you. This is an online version of our live event. So today we're going to start off our conversation with Plan It. This is helping you plan the right book. You know, a lot of you may have multiple books inside of you. This will allow you we're going to introduce you to Jerry Roberts' secret formula for you to get the right book out of you. Following that, we're going to go into Write It. We're going to do a lot of exercises. This is a powerful system that authors use all over the world to get the books out of them. Believe me, this system will teach you how to write a book in 40 hours. Yes, that's right, 40 hours. So get excited. Make sure you have notepad, you have your pens ready and everything. And then, of course, the last section that we're going to cover is Fund It. Now, Fund It is absolutely beautiful. You know, a lot of people have this thing that, you know, publishing a book and going down this route is very expensive. We are going to share strategies after strategies with you that will allow you to get all kinds of money even before you go to print. And these are Jerry Roberts' proprietary strategies that work all over the world like magic. So look forward to that. Of course, our kick butt offer will be there as well, and we'll talk to you about that in just a moment. Okay, so get poised in. Let me tell you a little bit about Black Card Books. Of course, tonight's webinar is brought to you by Black Card Books, one of the fastest growing publishing companies in the world, book publishing companies in the world. We have over 130 people on our staff. I'm telling you, we are all over the world, people, all over Australia, Europe, Asia, North America, and we are one of the dominant companies in this arena. And I'm telling you, we're going to be introducing you to a concept we call our publishing the entrepreneurial publishing. And the man that owns this company, Mr. Jerry Robert himself, is going to be your speaker today. And for those of you who haven't watched this video yet, and Bob Proctor endorsing Jerry Robert, make sure you do that. Make sure I put the link in the chat box as well. Make sure that you copy this link, have a look at it, and we are just going to get started. And I'm going to introduce you to your speaker in just a moment. So talking about your speaker, let me tell you about Mr. Jerry Robert. Not only does he serve as my mentor, he's a mentor to many all over the world. He's been in this industry for over 25 years, and he's shared the stages with the likes of Richard Branson, Les Brown, Robert Kiyosaki's of the world, and many of you might know this guy named Tony Robbins. He's on a permanent tour with Tony Robbins. He was actually just on stage with Tony. He was on just before Tony just yesterday in London, England, and I think he's somewhere else in the world. I think he might be in Sweden or something like that. I can't keep a track of this guy, but he's been seen by over 3 million people worldwide, and he is your speaker today. And I'm telling you this, guys, you guys want to pay attention, because Jerry himself doesn't do many of these. A lot of his speaker team does, so you are in for a treat. Get poised, get ready, get your pens ready, and let's get rocking. Jerry, my friend, are you on here? Yes or no? There he is.
Hey, how are you? Great job, Raza. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jerry. Listen, I'm sorry, I don't even know where you are anymore. Where are you today?
I'm actually in Stockholm, Sweden.
All right, all right.
We're doing a boot camp here this weekend, and I'm excited about. It's the first time we do a boot camp here, and I am leaving. I was just in London, as you mentioned, in the Tony Robbins event.
Yes.
I go. I'm doing the Publish a Book and Grow Rich boot camp here this weekend, and then I'm going back to London on Monday for our to meet with some of our clients for a mastermind that we do there, and then I fly from there to Manila to do another boot camp there, and then I go to Singapore, and then I'm back home. So I'm. They managed. They knew I had a day off, so they wanted to keep our team had to keep me busy. So I'm excited about this webcast. I mean, it's the first time we do this, and frankly, I want to welcome everybody. And I noticed just a second ago that we got people from all over the world, and they're signing. They're logging in still now like crazy. And so welcome and congratulations for being with me and being in this webcast. We got people from different places, different geographic places, but different places in life when it comes to publishing a book. So I'm excited for those of you who are here, because some of you are wondering, what the hell have I signed up for? Some of you know who I am. Some of you have no idea who I am. Some of you have never really thought about doing a book. You may have seen a Facebook ad and maybe have signed up to come to my boot camp, where we offer free tickets, or some of you have actually been to our boot camp, and we've had over 3 million people attend my live events over the last 8 years, and so I'm excited for you to be here. I believe that nothing happens by accident, and if you're here, you were meant to be here. And so we're gonna spend the next couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours together, and we've got a lot of stuff to cover, and I'm excited about what we are going to cover. And so I'm here to talk to you about entrepreneurial book publishing. I want to talk to you about how you can use a book in a very unique way that'll make a difference for you. And some of you who are listening to me, I mean, keep an open mind. I mean, don't tune me out. You're here. I'm going to show you, if you're interested in business, entrepreneurship, making money, maybe being a speaker, maybe you've thought about writing a book for a while, and even some of you may never have thought about it before, and you want to find out, is it something that could make sense to you? I want to assure you that a book makes a lot of sense. So Raza mentioned that we will be doing several different opportunities for you to interact, because listen, if we're going to be together in this sort of format, this is very different than what I'm used to. I don't have any live feedback from you. So if you could go to the chat window just on the side, just go to the chat window and tell me what occupation you do. What do you do for a living, so I can see that? Do that in the chat window. Do it so that the all or the entire audience can see. If you want to type in that right away, I'm going to recommend you type in the chat window so everybody can see it, or in the question and answer. It really doesn't matter, but it will help me see who's here, and maybe I can customize a little bit. So go ahead right now, folks. Type in your occupation. What do you do for a living? Okay, I see some people in the health field, affiliate managers. I see some web marketers. Go ahead and tell me what you do. I see people in financial services, speakers, trainers. I see some advertising strategists. Good, good. Just go ahead and type your professions there. Let me just check in the chat window. Anybody putting stuff in there? No, I see everybody's putting them in the questions. Okay, go ahead. Keep going. I see some counselors, therapists, medical doctors. Okay, so lots of different types of people. That's great. So I just want to make sure that you know, I see hypnotherapists, I see brand consultants, marketers, environmental consulting. Good, good, good. So we got a lot of great people here. General managers, HR people, consultants, coaches, lots of coaches, people in financial services. And so you're in the right place at the right time, because what we're going to talk to you about is how you can use a book to grow your business. And so what I want to do as well is make sure that you know that all of the examples that I'm going to show tonight, and I'm going to show dozens, if not hundreds, of examples of people who are just like you. And what you need to know is the people that I'm going to show you tonight all came out of the same sort of group of people from which you came to tonight's webcast. We have consultants and insurance agents. I see this lady here, Grace. You know, she wanted to use her book to become a speaker, and I see network marketers, and I see a lady who just wanted to use her book, Chico, as a fundraiser. I see real estate agents, and I see here Dr. Andrea is a naturopathic doctor. She's in our publishing program. We're currently publishing 713 books at the moment. Our book publishing company, Black Card Books, is one of the fastest growing publishers on the planet. And so when the industry is in the book publishing world is in a major decline, our company is the fastest growing book publisher on the planet, because we understand marketing. And as I share these examples, as I'm going to do this tonight, you need to understand that all these people were just like you. I don't typically attract writer types. I attract people who want to become speakers and coaches and therapists and fitness trainers, financial advisors. I see consultants. I see people who are into network marketing. I see people in the coaching business, relationship people, sales trainers. And so I guess I'm showing you all of these various people to make the point that you can do this. Okay, so you need to understand you're at the right place at the right time. Now, Raza, just so you see, there's Raza, I see somebody named Francis who says she's having a hard time hearing us. So maybe somebody can talk to her privately. Okay.
We're on it.
So again, let me move through. You're going to love the examples that I'm going to give, because I'm going to share examples from live people who are just like you, like the lady on the right, Lily Cawthorn, for example, who is an estate agent in Australia, who had never done any speaking, never done any publicity, and she's using her book to build her practice, and her practice has gone through the roof because of what her book has done for her. So let me tell you to start off with what our biases is, you know, what's important to us and the way we do book publishing, because I tell you, it's going to be very different than anything that you've seen before. I can assure you of that. But what we're going to talk about tonight is not traditional type of book publishing. So My bias is for using a book as a marketing tool. So rather than just making money using a book and making $5 or $10 or pounds or ringgit or Australian dollars or wherever you are, whatever currency you're in, making a few dollars selling a book, why don't you use a book as a marketing tool to find customers? You see, to me, that's much more lucrative because some of you can make thousands of dollars. And so our book publishing is focused on that. And I recommend that you publish your book yourself. I'm recommending that you stop trying to find a traditional publisher.
Jerry, I think you got muted. Can you hear me?
And so I would much prefer that you learn the tools that you need to do this and take control and do it yourself. Now, I'm giving you an abridged version of what we teach in our 2.5-day boot camp. If you have not attended our 2.5-day boot camp, you absolutely must come to that. And I'll arrange for you to get a free ticket to come to it. Where we show you from start to finish. Now, you're going to be way ahead of the game based on what we're going to cover tonight, but by doing it yourself, you remain in control. If you go with a traditional publisher, it's very difficult to get in, and if you do get in, it takes forever for you to see your book. In fact, if you were lucky enough to be selected, you won't see your book for another 16 to 18 months after you give it to them. Well, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to have action now. The other thing is, if you're working with a traditional publisher, you have no control over anything, or very little. They'll tell you what the title will be. They'll often tell you what the cover will look like. In many cases, they'll even try and control the content. You for sure would not be able to use some of the strategies I'm going to teach you tonight, and I'm going to teach you some fabulous strategies. I'm going to show you how to get the right book that will lead to the fastest path to the biggest cash. The fastest path to the biggest cash. Then I want to show you how to use a book to start raising money right away before you write one word. And I'm going to give you examples. I'm going to show you tonight how you can raise 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, some even $60,000 before their book comes out. Hey, if that interests you, in the question or chat, put yes. Let me know if you're here. Let me know if you can hear me okay. If you think that that would be of interest to you, how many of you here would like to learn how to bring in 10, 15, 20, 30, $40,000 before you write one word? Go ahead, just type yes. Oh, like you said, lots of response. Hey, good, you're in the right place. Just go ahead and type yes if that's something of interest to you. Then I want to keep this live and exciting. Folks, I've been to webinars where it's boring and dry. And listen, I don't get any feedback as a speaker. And so when I can see you type, I want to encourage you to go ahead and type that you like this, if this is making sense, if it's resonating with you. Just type yes, or keep going, or give me some encouragement. Tell me how nice my mustache looks. Do something to let me know that you're with me. All right. So the other reason the other part of our bias is that we want to make sure that you understand that the money is not in selling books. And so we want to get you to focus on much more than book sales. You know, someone one time asked J. Conrad Levinson, who started the guerrilla marketing craze, they asked him how much money he had made from his first book. And the answer he gave was 10 million. He said that the book itself only had paid him 35,000 in royalties. But the speaking engagements, the spin-off books and newsletters and columns and boot camps and consulting and wide open doors resulted in the remaining 9,965,000. And so my recommendation is stop looking to make $5 selling a book. That's dumb in comparison to where the big money is, and that is here in using a book to build and grow your business. There's a lot of money there. Just by the fact that you're an author of an upcoming book, you instantly are able to start benefiting from that in numerous ways. Many of them I'm going to cover tonight. But you're going to be able to also raise your fees. Many of you could charge an extra $20,000 or $30,000 or 20 or 30% higher fees once you are the author of an upcoming book. And when do you become an author? You become an author when you decide you're going to become an author. Have you decided you want to become an author? Is that a commitment for you? Go ahead and put. If you've already decided that a book is for you, type yes. I have decided in my in your chat window. You know, make a declaration. Stand up for what you want. My recommendation, another part of my bias, is that you not focus on using a book, trying to get your books in bookstores. It's very difficult to get your books in bookstores. And once they're in there, if they don't sell a whole bunch, they're gone within a short period of time, which meaning, because there's 5,000 more books coming down the pike. And so whenever you can, my recommendation is that you, like I give away more books than I sell. And so I think for many of you, the focus should be on using the book as a marketing tool. It doesn't mean you can't sell a book, but you know, if you look at my book, for example, one of my most popular books I wrote was called Millionaire Mindset: How Ordinary People Can Create Extraordinary Income. I've been using this to literally transform my life and the lives of millions of people over the years. And if you use it the way I'm recommending, your whole life will change. In fact, if I get you to look at this book, there's another book I wrote. Do you have any idea how much it would cost to print this? If you printed this book throughout the world, and we print all over the world, a book like this, of this size, would cost less than $1 to print this, or its equivalent in your marketplace. Imagine having that as a marketing tool. You know, if you print 2,000 copies of that and just gave it away, like literally just give it to friends, give it to prospects, you know your life will be different. And so I want to talk to you tonight about how you can get control of this. And as Raza mentioned, I do travel around the world. I've been on tour now for a while with Tony Robbins, and I speak at the National Achievers Congress with people like Robert Kiyosaki, Nick Vivicek, Richard Branson, Harv Eker, Robert Kiyosaki. I'm on stage with them all the time. And I know all the different ways to make money using speaking and seminars. I know all about the different investment vehicles, and I can assure you that there's not one investment vehicle, there's not one marketing tool that's nearly anywhere near as powerful as a book to grow your business or make more money. And so I want you to see this as much more than a publishing webcast today, but as a business building education, as an investment vehicle, as a money-making strategy, and there's nothing like it. You cannot make the kind of money I'm talking about from Forex or stock trading, real estate, internet marketing, network marketing. There's nothing that compares in my mind to a book to grow their story. And I can tell you that based on my own story. So let me just quickly, as we begin here, and it's funny, there's still people signing up. If you've not listed what country you're from, go ahead and type that too. If you've not listed what country you're from, we'd like to know where everybody is from. So just in the question and answer section, if you've not typed in what country or city you live in, go ahead and type that. We'd love to hear from you. My story's sort of interesting. I met a man one day, and my whole life changed after meeting him. This man asked me one question, and he made two statements that put me on a whole new course of life. His question to me was, what is the most amount of money you've ever made in a single year? Well, I told him at that time I had the best year I had ever had up to that point, and I had earned $100,000 the year previous, which I thought was a pretty good deal because no one in my family had made that kind of money. None of my friends had. And so to make $100,000 when you're in your 20s, I thought was pretty good. Well, I felt like I was doing pretty good until he made the first of two statements. His first statement to me was, that is garbage. Imagine that. I don't know what you would do if somebody told you your income was garbage, but I didn't say to him, okay, great guru, tell me what to do. And he said to me, listen, it's garbage for you to make that much in a year if you could make that much in a month. In a month. Shut up, I said. Get out of here. A month. So I didn't say to him, hey, guru, just tell me. I did what was natural to me when somebody shared an idea that was different than anything I'd ever heard before, outside of my paradigm, outside of my belief. I did what was natural for me, and that is I argued with him. I gave him every reason in the world why I could never earn 100 grand in a single month. I told him that I was young. I was in my 20s at the time. I told him that our country, Canada, I'm from Canada, by the way, I'm not American. I told him that Canada was in the middle of a major recession. I told him that I didn't feel particularly smart, and I thought you had to be really smart to make big money like that. I got kicked out of school when I was 15. I told him that I didn't come from money. In fact, I came from the exact opposite. I came from poverty. My family was living in the ghettos of Canada in public housing. My parents couldn't even provide the basics of life, like food and shelter, without government assistance. And get this, everybody in my family, my uncles, my cousins, my brother, my dad, everybody were alcoholics, drug addicts, or criminals. And that's where I was headed. And so for me to be making 100,000 when I'm in my 20s, how dare he? How dare he tell me that that's garbage? So as I'm arguing with him, and I'm giving him every reason in the world why I could never earn 100 grand in a month, he made the second statement. It was worse than the first. He looked at me squarely in the eye, and he said to me, you are a jerk, just like that. Can you friggin' imagine? If somebody calls your income garbage and you a jerk in the first 5 minutes of meeting them, it's either going to be a pretty brief meeting, or maybe you should shut up and listen, because I thought to myself, what if he's right? No, not about the jerk part. What if it was possible to earn in 1 month, every month, not even every month, just 1 month? Imagine earning next month what you made all last year. I thought, if that was possible, I had to figure it out. So I said to him, if you show me what to do, I promise you I'll do it. And I was serious. And my income within 12 months shot up over $1 million. Over $1 million in a single friggin' year when I was in my 20s, man. It was phenomenal. Life was fantastic. And now, guys, it's not uncommon for me to make $1 million in a weekend. I just did 1,750,000 last week in 1 day in Denver. And I'm not telling you that to brag. Well, maybe a little bit. I'm telling you that because I'm still the same kid who got kicked out of school when I was 15. When I was, lost. And if I could do it, growing up in poverty with parents who are alcoholics and drug addicts and criminals, and if it can happen to me, don't tell me it can't happen to you. In fact, in the last 25 years, I've brought in over $100 million into my bank account and into the bank account of my partner, my business partners, by using some of the material I'm going to talk to you about tonight. And you know, now my publishing company, Black Card Books, which publishes all the books that you're going to see tonight, and maybe we could publish your book as well. We'd love to talk to you about how we do that. We've got a very unique entrepreneurial publishing model that we talk about, and you'd have to come to our boot camp to find out about that. But we're on a course right now to bring in $100 million per year in about the next 2 to 3 years. Imagine that. Like, life is friggin' phenomenal. Now I travel all over the world. I right around the world 7 or 8 times a year. I get to hang around with cool people like those of you on this webcast, and wonderful people from from all over the world, and the most positive people in any city always show up in a webcast. So I'm thrilled that you're here, and I get to impact other people. I make a lot of money. I've got a great company, and life is fantastic. And so that's what I want for you. I want for you to have more, do more, and be more. And so that's why I'm excited about tonight's webcast, where I'm going to talk about just three things, which is how to plan the right book, how to write the book quickly, and then how to get other people to pay for all of the costs associated with doing this, because it costs money to do it, especially the way I'm recommending. Now, before we go any further, could you just type in the question and answer section, are you listening to us via mobile phone or by desktop computer? This is going to help us plan these for the next time around. So can you just type in, please, ladies and gentlemen, can you just type in if you're watching this on a computer or on your mobile phone? That would be helpful. Can you do that? I'm just going to wait a quick second. Okay, I've seen some people are who are doing this live, doing this on mobile phone. Let's just go ahead and type that in. Could you type that in, ladies and gentlemen, either in the chat window or in the question on the right-hand side of the control panel? Okay. All right. So somebody may mistake, when I talk about money so much, mistake that this is all about money for us. It definitely is not all about money. We're currently publishing over 700 authors right now, and the reason that I do what I do is because just think of the books, or the impact that even one author will be able to do. Look at these books, guys. This is just a few books that we've recently published. Look at this book, Finishing Well. So this is on how to have more peace of mind, more confidence. How to overcome if you feel that life is not going well for you. 5-star mentality, how to win in life. He's talking about the mindset of super achievers. Look at Rhonda's book, The Beautiful Warrior. She's a consultant, fabulous soul from Denver, coaching women how to have more confidence and power. Actually, she's from New Jersey. I just saw her the other day in Denver. Look at this one, How to Be Heard and how to raise your brand, build your company, how to break free from. This is Rhonda from Ronel from South Africa. Listen to what her book is, Find Your Power, Rewrite Your Story, and Create an Awesome Life. Just imagine the good that these people are doing. Jeffrey talking about how to improve your mental power, how to speak better, how to have better and make more money in real estate. I mean, these are just a few of the books that we've recently published. Just think of the good these people are doing in this world. And so that's the reason I want you to get your book out. Some of you have been to the war and back, and you deserve to get your message heard and be rewarded handsomely for it. And that's why I do what I do. Now, the reality is I also have goals, and this is what I'm currently working on right now. This is my goal. This is a Citation 10. I'm working on getting a private jet. This one is the fastest business jet on the planet. It's phenomenal. And I'll tell you, when you're flying in this thing at 600 miles an hour at 40,000 feet, man, oh man, and you're eating sushi, it has never tasted so good. And what you do when you're up there, you call all your broke friends and relatives from the plane. Hey, I got psychological problems still. Just don't judge me. But this is what I'm working on. I've got goals. That's why I work so hard. That's why we're building this. I mean, we do over 100 boot camps a year. We bring in tens of thousands of people through it. We have a huge company. We are the category leader. There's lots of people that may help people about publishing books, but ours is the biggest, and we've been doing it the longest. Nobody even comes remotely close to us, both in terms of size or depth of content. So we know what we're doing, and that's why we're excited for you to be here, is because we know that you you want to go to the next level. Now, I got to ask you a question. How many of you think I'm going to try and sell you something tonight? If I could get you to put your hand up, I get people to put their hands up. And how many of you think I'm going to try and sell you something? I am going to try and sell you something tonight. But I want to ask you if you would be okay if we could make a deal. Now, I sell a kick in the butt service. It's $5,000. It's very expensive. It's not for everybody. But I just want to let you know that my preference is, rather than try and sell you over and over and over again, here's my philosophy. And I know a lot of speakers do that. That's not me. A lot of speakers invite you to a webcast. There's literally no content or very little content. All they want to do is get you to buy. That's not me. I'm going to give you an enormous amount of content in the next couple of hours. And then I do that because some of you will allow me at the end to talk to you about my kick in the butt service. See, what many of you need is a kick in the butt. A good coach does one of three things. A good coach hugs you when you need a hug, gives you a pat on the back when you need a pat on the back, but also knows how to kick your ass, and some of you need to have your ass kicked. And so I have look at the size of that shoe, man. I know where to put that thing. And my job and what we have to offer, and if you're okay with this, what I would like to have your permission and have you type yes. If I give you some really good content over the next few hours, would it be okay for you, with you, if I take a few minutes at the end of my talk to talk to you about this program? Now, it's very expensive, and so the reality is it's very expensive, so it's not for everybody, but I show you how to get other people to pay my fee. So could you type yes if that's an okay deal? If I give you some really good content over the next hour, a couple of hours, would it be okay if I take a few minutes? And so go ahead and type yes, everybody, right now. Let me see who's still participating. How many of you are still active in this webcast? It's going to be active, and so I want you to type yes if that would be a fair exchange. Okay, lots of people are doing it. Go ahead and type yes if I give you some good content. You know, just because I've seen so many webcasts where it's just all selling, 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 I don't want to be like that. I want to give you really good content, but I want to ask your permission if that's okay. Just type yes in the question and answer. Then that gives me a vote of confidence to know that if I give you good content, you'll be okay with me taking a couple of minutes helping you out. Okay, good. All right, so let's keep going. So when my mentor asked me, when he told me that I could make in a month what I used to make in a year, I almost rejected that idea. Could you please type in the window why you think people, when they're presented with good ideas, at times reject good ideas? Go ahead and type that in the chat window or in the question, just so I can see what's your answer to that question. Why is it when people share ideas, why is there a tendency for others to reject those ideas? Go ahead and type that right now. And then what I'll do is I'll read that. Sounds too good to be true. Thank you, Sarah. What else? Why? And I'm going to share some ideas with you tonight. I promise you I'm going to share some ideas with you that there could be a tendency for you to reject it. So why else do people? Ignorance, fear. Good. Thank you, Jennifer. Ignorance. Our mind refuses, what does it say? Our mind refuses the unfamiliar. Fear of failure. Thank you, Norva. Because people live in their negative mind. Thank you, Joyce. What else? Many times it sounds too good to be true, and also the mindset. Good. Keep going. Why else do people reject ideas? And I'm saying, I want you to think about this at the start, because number one, you're going to get more out of this if you're active. Now, there are lots and lots and lots of people, hundreds of people on this webcast right now, but you're not all participating. Why aren't you participating? Do you think you're going to get rich listening to rich people? I'm asking you to participate. Tell me why you think people reject good ideas. Lots of you aren't participating. Get in the game, man. If you want to get this book done, you got to do what wealthy people do. I'm asking you to tell me why you think people reject good ideas, and some of you are just sitting there listening. Guys, man, oh man, get with it. We have immunity to change. Thank you. There we go. Too lazy, not enough willpower. They think they can't do it. Great. And so, and I'm starting off with this because I know that I'm going to share some ideas with you tonight that might cause you to think the same thing that I thought when he told me I could earn in a month what I used to earn in a year, and I was rejecting the idea. So my suggestion is don't reject an idea. So let's take a poll right now. I'm going to ask you, how long have you been thinking about writing a book? So you're going to see a poll come up. I'm going to launch the poll now. How long have you been thinking about a book? So just go ahead and click on, or just click on one of these things and then hit submit. As soon as you do that, go ahead. I'm going to just keep this open for another minute or two, sorry, another 10 seconds or so, and then I'm going to show you the results. How long have you been thinking about it? Some of you have never thought about doing a book before. I'm going to close the poll in about 10 seconds. What's been interesting? Okay. Wow. Let me show you the results. I'm going to close the poll, and I'm going to share the results with you. Look at the results. It looks like 72% of you between 1 and 10 years, and 27% of you have been thinking about it for more than 10 years. Wow. Well, I want to talk to you about what stops people, because there's something that stops people. Many people, I go around the world and I ask people, how long have you been thinking about writing a book? It's always between 5 and 10 years, the biggest number of people. But something's stopping you. What do you think stops people from writing books? Francis, I see you've been thinking about it for 3 years. Go ahead. What stops it? Why do people want to do a book but don't do it? Go ahead and type that. They don't have a system. Go ahead. Keep typing. You know what the problem that I see is that people have the wrong picture of what book they have to write in their mind. So they think they can't do it because the book that they think they have to write, you see, they think they have to write a world-changing book, a book that is earth-shattering, a book that is industry revolutionizing, a book that is personality altering. They think that the book that they have to write needs to be history making. It needs to be a book that's incomprehensibly complicated work of art, that's totally original, with never before heard of content. They think that the book that they have to write needs to be huge, a massively sized book. It has to be masterfully written. It has to be in perfect grammar and English. They think that they have to write a book that's a one-of-a-kind book without one single spelling mistake. And that's not true. There's a lot of reasons why people don't do books. And you've typed a lot of good things here. I see David, you wrote that it's already been done. Norva wrote, think no one would be interested in this. They don't have the skills. So there's a lot of reasons that stops people. So my recommendation for most of you is this. I recommend for your published book, you should do a book that's only 80 to 100 pages in length. That's 8 to 10 chapters with 8 to 10 pages per chapter. I'm going to show you tonight what to write about in a few minutes. When we start our Plan It section, my recommendation is that you're going to focus on the needs, desires, and problems of your target markets. And I guess my point is this: if you look at most of the books that we publish here at Black Card Books, most of them, and I'll just hold these up, most of them are less, well, are close to 100 pages in length. These are not very thick books. And these books change people's lives, change their income. And so that's my recommendation, is that you publish a book like this and let go of the thinking that you got to write a big thick book like this. You don't have to write a big thick book like that. This book, by the way, is entitled Everything Men Know About Women. And the problem is because you've got an idea that your book has to be perfect, you suffer from what I call a mental condition called the literary genius complex. I coined this phrase a while back, And it's basically, you know, the what happens in your head. You think it's got to be perfect, and because you know you can't write a perfect book, you stop. And this is an actual complex, and I know who has it. I can tell who has this. You know how I can tell? Those of you right now that are bothered by the spelling mistake in there. See, some of you right away, you saw the spelling mistake and you got all freaked out, and you are so focused on perfection that you lobbed onto that, and you've got to absolutely let go of perfection. There are many of you who are terrible spellers, and you think you got to be good at spelling to write a book. You don't. You've got to make a decision and do something and hire somebody to write a book, to fix edit your book. It's got to be good, but you don't have to be the person to take it to a perfect level. Spelling is not important. Okay, everybody look at the screen right now. I want you to look at the screen right now and read this with me. Read it out loud, okay? Come on, let's do it together. Everybody, out loud. According to research at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and the last letter be in the right place. You see, you think spelling is important, but you got to let go of that need for perfection and realize that spelling is not important. You don't let that stop you. And that's my recommendation tonight, as you're going to start with this, is let go of perfection. Now, there's a lot of you who feel that maybe you're not credible enough to write a book. Well, let me deal with that to start off with. If you do not have a lot of success or personal credibility or knowledge in a particular area, don't worry about it. There are lots of types of books. One type of book is, here's my advice. Another type of book is, here's my strategies. Another type of book, though, is like a reporter type book. And that's what this young man did, David Chua, who was 22 years old when he attended our boot camp. He was in network marketing, and he wanted to do a book about network marketing. And I said, don't do a book about network marketing. Nobody cares about network marketing other than network marketers. I said, write a book on what prospects of network marketing would want to learn more about. And what is that? Money. They want to learn about money. And I said to him, write a book on how to get rich. And he looked at me like I was a deer on the highway, and he said, what? I'm 22 years old. I'm broke, and I don't know how to get rich. I said, you don't have to be rich in order to write a book on how to get rich. Seriously, think about it. If you were to interview people, and I'm going to show you how to interview people in the next hour. If you were to interview people, and you were to interview people who are rich and culminated that in a book, you could easily combine that into a book. And if you interview 10 experts, you'll be considered the 11th. And that's exactly what he did. I showed him how to write a book called Millionairehood by interviewing wealthy people. In fact, that's exactly what Napoleon Hill did for the book Think and Grow Rich. He was a broke reporter when he wrote that book. So don't worry if you don't feel you don't have a lot of credibility. So now let's take another poll about what stopped you. You know, there's lots of reasons. Let me go ahead and open this poll. I want you to type in or just click on what has stopped you thus far. Go ahead and answer that. We're going to take a second. Are you a procrastinator? You don't feel credible? You started but you never finished? Is it that you need somebody to kick your butt? Hey, that's what I'm here to do. Let's go ahead and take another 5 or 10 seconds. Go ahead and fill this in. Come on, only half of you have voted so far. Get off, get going, get participating. Take the poll, man. Click on the thing. If you can't even just click on on your computer, come on, lots of you are still not answering this poll. Go ahead and do this. Come on. Get involved in the game. Okay, we're going to keep this open for another 5 seconds. Hurry up. Okay, I'm going to close the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me show you the answers. Thank you, Raza. Okay, let me show you the answers. Well, they're sort of all over the place. A few of you started, but people not feeling credible. So I hope you feel credible now. If you're a procrastinator, I'm going to knock that out of your head in just the next little while. And if some of you need a kick in the butt, I'm going to show you how I can maybe help you with that as well. So let's get started. If I could do one thing, it would be to let you know you can do this. You can do this, folks. This year. Not wait forever. Tonight, we're going to cover three main things, and I'm about to get into them now. One is plan it, how you can plan the right book. I'm going to show you how to do that next. I have a three-step formula. Then, I'm going to show you how to write a book, and get this, I'm going to show you how to write a book in 40 hours. You're going to love it. And then after that, I'm going to show you how to fund it. I'm going to show you how to actually start making money before you write one single word. And I'm going to give you examples of people who brought in tons of money, over $50,000, without any experience, if you've got the right tools. And tonight, you're going to get the right tools. All right, so let's start the planet section now. So a book, in my way of thinking, is not so much written as it is engineered. So you need to think of how to do the right book first. How many of you right now have more than one book inside of you? Just type yes in the chat window if you have more than one book inside. Some of you may not even know what you're going to write about yet, but go ahead and put yes in the question and answer. If you've got more than one book in you, go ahead. Thank you, Jennifer, Joyce, Len. Thank you, Norva, Allison, Jason. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lots of you have more than one book in you. Well, there's a formula that I'm about to teach you now, which has in it a way for you to determine which is the best book for you to start off with. And ostensibly, it falls under this: which is the book that will give you the fastest path to the biggest cash? That's the criteria right there. And by the way, I forgot to mention this, but if you look in the go to webinar panel, there are two handouts that we're offering for you to download, and I just don't want to forget to remind you that tonight's webinar is part of our boot camp, and we're offering for you the brand new version of our boot camp workbook. And so you can take notes. If you download that, it would be too late for you to print off now, but go ahead and download the workbook. And also we have a revenue calculator, which I'm going to explain a little bit later tonight, to help you determine the money around your book. But I didn't want to forget to let you know that you have a webinar, a workbook, which is, I think, is about a 100-page workbook that you can download and print off as you review this webcast. You can get access to that, and it's the first. No one else has seen this. You're getting to see the updated version for the first time here. So let me show you the formula. Here are the three. We call it the critical three. These are the three things that you need to do, and I'm going to work through each one of them. And I'm going to need you to participate here now. So I need you to participate in a minute. But these are the three things that we think are the critical questions or factors to help you determine which is the best book for you to start off with. So first of all, you need to determine your primary objective. That is, what do you want the book to do for you? Then you need to know who's going to read your book, your T-pop.
Sorry, Jerry, we lost your audio.
And with that, I use this example of a young man who came to me at my seminar, and he wanted to show me his book of poetry. Well, I'm not really a poetry kind of guy, and I guess he could tell that because I rolled my eyes a little bit when he told me he had done a book of poetry, because there's not a lot of money in poetry. But he said, And he pointed his finger like this at me, and he said, hey, these poems are different. I said, okay, what do you mean? He said, these poems are designed to teach men how to connect with their male children, their boys. Huh, what a cool idea, I thought. Because I had 3 boys, I have 3 boys, and I thought if he can help me connect more intimately with my sons, I'm very keen. And so he read me some of his poems, and I thought, fantastic, they were great. In fact, I got teary-eyed at the end when he read me one. So I said to him, what do you want the book to do for you? You see, that's my starting place all the time. What do you want the book to do for you? And he said, well, Jerry, I want to use my book to get publicity, because if I get publicity, I'll invite men to come to my seminars, and if men come to my seminars, Jerry, I'll change their life, and I'll change the life of their boys. Wow. Well, that made a lot of sense to me. That's a good objective, isn't it? But listen to me carefully. He will never in 100 years get publicity with a book of poetry. You see my point here? He had a great book idea. He had a great objective. But that book would never get that objective. You're never going to hear somebody get poetry, get on TV or radio because of a poetry book. You don't. I said to him, if you want to get publicity, write a book like this. I mean, seriously, if you want to get publicity, don't write a book of poetry. Write a book entitled, How to Make Sure Your Boys Don't End Up Like Michael Jackson. You see, that would get publicity. So what I want you to do is think through, what do you want a book to do for you? So look at this book, for example, this book, which is a book I wrote called Multiply Your Business. Look how thick it is. It's not very thick. Well, it's not very thick because the primary objective of this book is a lead generator. We have a plan right now to give away 20,000 of these a month. Well, if we're going to give 20,000 of these things away a month, why would I print a big thick book? Also, you'll notice, hey, just by the way, a side little thing, look at the white space in this book. Look at how much white space is in here. And listen to me. I've made tens of millions from that little book. See, you think you've got to write War and Peace that's that thick. I'm saying you've got to think through what you want your book to do for you. Now, let me give you a few advice. For most of you, you need to understand the difference between a passion book and a profit book. So in this guy, in the poetry example, see, his poems was his passion, but it's not very profitable. The Michael Jackson book, on the other hand, is very profitable because it'll give him what he wants, really. I said to him, take your poetry book and, put it, do it full color, put it in a box, put a CD with the music and a broadcaster reading the poems. That's what you do with that book. But to lead, your first book should be a book that's going to give you publicity, which is what you say you want. Now, let me tell you what I did with, or what I recommend for most of you. For most of you, I recommend that your books go wide in content, so that you write several topics, but don't go deep with each topic. So there's my first book cover. I wrote this book, almost 30 years ago now. I had hair back then, and I could sit on hair. But I hate the cover now, but I did it all myself on Corel Draw. And my primary objective for this book was to get speaking engagements. So I wrote one chapter on 10 subjects that I found out companies hire motivational speakers for, which is what I used to do at that time. So I wrote one chapter on each subject, and that's my recommendation for most of you. Write wide in your content, not deep in your content. And so you can go deep in your consulting, in your coaching, in your seminars, in your home study courses, but for most of you, you should have wide range of topics so that you can use your book in all kinds of different places. And what I used to do, if somebody called me and said, can you speak on self-confidence, I would say, hey, as a matter of fact, there's a chapter on my book on that subject. And just by being able to say that alone, that gave me the credibility for them to hire me to speak. As I mentioned to you before, all you need, most of you, is to do an 80-page to 100-page book. That's 8 to 10 chapters each. That's 8 to 10 pages per chapter. And what you need to write about is the needs, desires, and problems of your target market. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. And so in the workbook that you can download by going to the handout section on the GoToWebinar panel, you can download the handout there, and there's a worksheet for you to pick out your primary objective. Now, you're going to see lots of different examples there. You got to ask yourself, if you could only do one, like a book will do thousands, hundreds of things for you, but you got to ask yourself, as before you start writing, what if it could only do one thing for you, what would you want that one thing to be? And let that determine everything about your book. All right? So now let's take a poll about your primary objective. Let's see where you're at. What is your primary objective? So let's go to this, your primary objective. Let's take this poll. Do you know why are you writing your book? What do you want your book to do for you? Let's just take a second. Go ahead and fill out this poll right now, everyone. If the poll's open, go ahead. And then make sure you click on submit so that it registered with our system. Go ahead. Everybody, come on. %30 of you have, okay, 40, good, good, good. Keep, answer the poll, folks. Let me know what would you like your book to do for you. And by the way, I put there, one of the questions is, I need more help with this. You're undecided. Our publishing consultants are on the line, and they will help you tonight and also moving forward. They're able to help you with understanding this concept a little bit more. And if you have a specific question about your primary objective, go ahead and ask that in the question and answer. I'm going to take 1 more minute and answer this question. 5, 4, 3, come on, go ahead. 2, 1. I'm going to close the poll now, and let me share the results with you. You may be interested in see where everybody's at. Lots of people, looks like, want to become speakers. A lot of you want to use, 60% of you want to use it to become speakers or impact people or boost your income or visibility. So, and then another 30% want to use it to generate leads for your business. Well, there's nothing that'll help you generate leads for your business like a book will. Okay, so you got to work on that. Does anybody have any specific questions about primary objective? Let me just check the question and answer. Allison loved the fact that I remembered Corel Draw. Okay, does anybody have any questions on primary objective? So before you write one word, you got to ask yourself, what do I want the book to do for me first? Okay, so our team will be happy to help you with answering that question. Next, after that, you got to ask yourself, who is your ideal prospect? And so what you want to do is you want to know and understand a lot about the demographics of the people who are going to read your book. What age are they? Are you going to be writing to primarily women versus men? Now, I know some of you say, everybody should read my book, but really, folks, you got to get over yourself. Everybody's not going to read your book. What you got to do is make sure that you understand that you can only sell to a certain demographic, and the more you understand that demographic, the more it'll be, the better it'll be. And the reality is, if you're writing primarily for women, maybe you should have different pictures on the cover. If you're writing primarily for salespeople, then maybe your language needs to be different than if you're writing for accountants, let's say. But most people never think about such things because they're so focused on what the book's going to do for the reader that they never stop and think about the demographic of their audience. And so you want to, again, go to the workbook when you download the workbook, and you'll be able then to look at the worksheet that we have there that'll help you determine your T-pop. So let me see where you all are at in regards to your target population. I'm going to launch another poll. Tell me what you think. Do you know your ideal target population? Let me take a quick poll. Please just make sure to click on one of those 3 answers and then hit submit, and then that'll register with us. Again, I want to keep this moving fast. I hope I'm not moving too fast for you. But I want to make it interactive as well. And so I appreciate those of you who are responding to these polls, and I want to kick the ass of those of you who are not. I mean, seriously, it blows my mind that people come on a webinar like this and don't participate. They just sit and listen. And that's why year after year, their books go by. They look at other people winning in life. They never win because they think that they're gonna grow by just listening. You never grow by listening. All right, look at this. 80% of you have already voted. So just a few of you haven't voted yet. So we're going to close the poll in 5 seconds. 5, 4, come on. Take your last chance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We're going to close the poll now. Let me share with you. Okay, most people have got it. Now, some of you need more help with this. If you have a specific question, go ahead and type it in the chat window or in the questions, and then our publishing consultants who are monitoring these will be happy to answer privately and try and help you. I just thank you, Reza. Reza says the polls are going good. People are interacting with the attendees, so that's wonderful. So that's great. Did I share the results yet? I'm not sure if I did. Let me just share them again. So you can see there, most people have it. And then some people still are not sure about the concept. So if you have a question, you're not sure about the concept, then just let us know, and then we'll be happy to answer it. Now the next thing is the big one, and this is where I'm gonna unmute one of you, because I want to show you how you can get a lot of information about what you should write about. One of the things that I do in our seminars is we get people to analyze the needs, desires, and problems of the target market. See, what you got to do is you got to figure out what keeps your target market up at night, like what drives them crazy, and write one chapter based on all of their needs, their desires, or their frustrations. So let me pick somebody who would like to get some benefit tonight. Put your hand up, and you put your hand up by clicking on the little icon with the hand there. If you'd like us, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of you, I'm going to unmute you, I'm going to ask you what you do, what your book is about, I'm going to ask you who your target population is, and then we're going to get the rest of the people in here to type what they think are the needs, desires, and problems of the people who are in that T-pop. So put your hand up. You can put your hand up by clicking on, if you would like to be a volunteer, okay. I see some people there. Aaron, let me unmute Aaron. Aaron, let me see if I can unmute him.
Jerry, do you want me to unmute him?
Yeah, Aaron, go ahead and unmute Aaron. For some reason, it's not allowing me to do it. Aaron, can you hear me? Aaron, can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where are you?
I'm in Los Angeles, California.
Well, welcome. So, Aaron, tell us what is it you do?
I am a sports chiro that happens to train young boys and girls as well for sports competition, meaning football or basketball, track and field, you name it.
Okay. Good, good. And your objective for your book, what do you want the book to do for you?
You know, I see a large number of single moms who are trying to raise their boys, and they're going about it the wrong way. And so I think the book needs to help them to kind of guide them along in terms of.
Okay, so what you've just done, Aaron, is you've just revealed that you still don't have the concept, but don't feel bad. Very few people do. See, I asked you, what do you want the book to do for you? And you flipped around and told me what the book is going to do for the reader. And that is a critical distinction.
Okay. That's why I'm
See,
here.
of course you got to think about. Yeah, that's great, and dude, I'm happy that you're participating. So what I'm saying here, and everybody needs to get the lesson that just occurred. See, I asked Aaron, what does he want the book to do for him? He went right to what the book's going to do for the reader, which is a mistake that most people make, and that's why I'm saying to you, you got to, before you understand, you got to ask yourself what you want the book to do for you, because you've just given me an indication that you're focused in the wrong direction. Before you start writing, the primary objective is, what do you want the book to do for you? So how would you answer that question, now that I've nailed you to the wall here? But
Absolutely. No worries.
what would you say?
Credibility.
Okay.
Speaking engagements.
Okay.
And it'll probably help me as well deal with some of the issues that I have being from a single mom.
All right. So that's the critical thing. Because if you're using a book to get speaking engagements, you see, here's why I want you to think about this. Because if you're using a book to get speaking engagements, for example, Aaron, you're going to refer to your speaking titles, your signature speech, the people you've helped throughout the book. You're going to talk about, yes, ladies and gentlemen, when I speak in front of crowds, my emphasis in my speaking engagements is to teach people these three things. The other day when I was with a young man named Fred, and Fred asked me, you're going to keep referring to your speaking engagements throughout the book if you know that that's what you want. Now,
okay.
I will tell most of you this, which I forgot to mention. For many of you folks, your main objective, for most of you, many of you, if you've got many books to do, write the book that's going to lead to the fastest path to the biggest cash. And for many of you, that's building your existing business. So, Aaron, let me ask you this: you're a chiropractor. Do you have your own practice?
I do.
Then why wouldn't you use for your first book, your first book to build your practice?
I guess I should.
That's my recommendation, because you see, if you're going to go into this, if you're going to go into this other area, which sounds to me like motivational, inspirational speaking and that sort of thing, if that's new to you, you got to figure it out. You got to learn how to sell. You got to build a website. You got to build a brochure. You got to do all kinds of things. You got to craft an offer. You got to find a market. You got to learn how to sell. Whereas, if you did a book right now, for instance, if you were to do a book called How 50-Year-Old Men Can Double Their Energy and Stamina, that would drive more people to your practice. Your practice is already set up, Aaron. It's a moneymaker. Now, if you're a chiropractor, and I've spoken to thousands, tens of thousands of chiropractors. I used to be on Parker's faculty, so I'm quite familiar with that industry. If you were to write about how 50-year-olds can have double their energy and improve their sex life, like just use that as an example, and you became known as the person to help men improve their energy and stamina and sex life, and then you could literally give that book away. It's going to drive people to your practice, and that practice is established. You've got a place, you've got a business, you probably have a website, you've got testimonials, you've got a practice, you've got a way to start making money next week. My recommendation for you, and most of you listening, is to do something related to what you've already got going. Okay.
Okay.
So now, so let's just play around with that theme for a second. Aaron, who is your primary market for your business, your practice?
Ladies between the age of 25 and 65.
Okay, ladies between 25 and 65, okay? So those of you who are listening, I want you to write down in the question and answer period, what do you think keeps those ladies up at night? What is their needs, desires, and problems? And don't just relate it to back problems because he's a chiropractor. I'd like you to type now, every one of you who are listening, what is the needs, desires, and problems of women between 25 and 65? Go ahead and start typing. We're going to wait just a minute, Aaron, and I'm going to ask people to start typing.
Okay.
Let me just see. I think we're having a bit of audio problems, I heard. Okay, so some people are driving and are only listening. Okay, so that's why it's going slow. Okay, so feeling worn down, Jason said, thank you. Allison, worrying about their relationships, how to be a better mom, feeling worn down, no energy, the slowing down, just having to slow down because of the aging process. Here's another one, children and finance, how to give more attention to my children. Okay, Alice, thank you. Len said, feeling like they have to care for everybody else. Joyce, no energy. So this is exactly what I'm asking. Thank you so much, Sarah. Childcare, after school. Francis, stress. And so no energy, Norva. Feeling stuck in life. So Aaron, this is how you're going to use this. Now you're going to keep asking people what keeps women between 25 and 65. What keeps them up at night? What drives them crazy? And you're going to write one chapter for every one of those things. That's the way to. That's what you should write about. How come I can't read the message response on my side? I'm not sure about that, Jessica. So has that been helpful at all, Aaron?
Yes, thank you.
Good. So thank you very much, Aaron. I appreciate you participating. I look forward to seeing you someday.
Thank you, likewise.
Maybe we can mute that. Again, for some reason, I'm not able to unmute and mute Raza. Good. So that's what I want you all to do, is to analyze by asking other people what the needs, desires, and problems are of your target market, and then write one chapter on each one of those. And my recommendation for all of you is to write a book that's related to your existing business. That's what I would do if I were you. All right, so I already picked somebody. Now, let me take a poll just to make sure I'm okay that you've got this. Take a poll about the NDP, the needs, desires, and problems. Everybody, could you just please, I'm going to launch this quick poll. It's just going to tell me if you've got the concept or not. Go ahead, and if I need to address it, or if you've got questions, then I'll be happy to answer questions. But go ahead. I'm only going to take another 10 seconds or so as a quick poll. Yes, I got the concept. Not fully, but I'm going to research it some more. Or some of you may need help with this. I mean, people are getting the concept. Thank you very much. Go ahead, hurry up. You got just a second. I'll take a quick drink. Okay, another 5 seconds, folks. Go ahead and fill it in. And then make sure you hit submit on the window so that I can get it. Those of you who are driving in your car, I get it. I understand. Don't try and take a poll when you're driving. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm going to close the poll in 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3. We're closed. Let me share the results. Okay, so everybody pretty much has it. So I don't need to share the results. Let's keep moving. Let me give you another illustration of the critical 3. So let's say let's just say I'm a photocopy salesperson. I really want you to get this. Let's just say I'm a photocopy salesperson, and my objective is to open doors. So I need to get in front of my target market. And let's say I've analyzed my target market. I know who she is. I know that I sell to office managers. She's between 40 and 60, and she's mean, and she makes this amount of money, $35,000 a year. Then what I do is I ask myself, what keeps her up at night? And no, it's not her husband. What keeps her up at night? And so you ask the question, and you analyze her needs, her desires. So you see, the tendency, and this is what I want you all to avoid here, is don't make the mistake of writing based on what you think is important. Base it from them. Because you see, a salesperson, a photocopy salesperson, might think that they should write a book on how to buy a photocopier. Nobody cares about your stupid photocopiers. If they see a book called How to Buy a Photocopier by a photocopy salesperson, they're going to know that's a brochure. That's not a book. And it'll actually backfire. Instead of writing a book on how to buy a photocopier, write a book like this. Write a book designed to attract office managers how office managers can get the respect she deserves to make her boss do just about anything. Can you not see how this would help you open doors? Imagine sending this to your prospects before before you get out there. It's just incredible. So that's the way to do it. The critical three is the way to do it. Now, I want to talk for a few minutes before I switch gears and talk to you about how to write a book in 40 hours. I want to make sure you understand that the thing that's going to stop you more than anything else is your mindset. And my mentor drew a picture of what the mind is. And he said the mind is in three parts. And he drew two circles like this. And he said there's a conscious mind, because you got to fix your thinking. That's why your books are not here. Now, I'm going to give you the strategies tonight, and I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm going to give you the strategies, and most people won't do a damn thing with what they're going to learn tonight, because they don't understand that the problem is not so much learning. Of course, you need to get the strategies, and you're going to get the best strategies known to mankind on how to publish an entrepreneurial book tonight. But unless you fix the problem in your mindset, you'll never do this. And so he said to me, you have a conscious mind, a thinking mind. You also have a subconscious mind, and you got a body that responds to that thinking and feeling, and it moves into action. He said the problem is when you were a youngster, like before you had developed the age of reason, authority figures who loved you put concepts inside your head, and they put all kinds of concepts in there about how old, how much money you can make in life. They put concepts in there about, is the world a good world? Is it a bad world? Is God good? Can you trust people? Are you going to go far? Can you go fast? Can you go slow? What profession? All that was put in there. And the problem is, by the time you reach 9 or 10, when you start thinking for yourself, all those concepts are locked inside of you. You see, you don't have this book because there's a program inside of you that's faulty, and one of them is the paradigm of postponement. Another one is skepticism. Another one is low self-esteem. Another one is go slow. Another one is perfection. There's all kinds of programming that happens inside your subconscious mind, and you got to learn to break through that. And that's, as far as I'm concerned, there's only two ways that I know how to reprogram that negative mindset that most of us have grown up with, and that is through spaced repetition and emotional impact. You got to reprogram what's stopping you, folks. That's why you're going to need a coach. That's why many of you need a kick in the ass. That's why I'm so happy you're here. Well, the tool that I use to do that is what I call the captain and the crew. And so I look at my subconscious mind. I look at how to change my results, because I grew up in poverty. I mean, everybody I knew was in trouble or messed up and poor. And so I needed a way to change my thinking, my mindset, and I used and developed this concept called the captain and the crew. So I view my conscious mind as the captain, and I view my subconscious mind like the crew. And the job of the captain, the job of the crew is to do everything that the captain says. And so if the captain says it's impossible, the crew, which is your subconscious mind, that's somehow connected to everything that is, to God, to source, to everything, it'll make it happen. Whatever the captain says, the crew, and this is the most important thing I'm going to say in this whole friggin' webinar, guys. Listen to me carefully. This is, the next thing I'm about to say is the most important thing you're going to hear tonight is this. Everything that the captain says, everything you say in your head, the crew, your subconscious mind, interprets as a command, as an order. So if the crew says, the captain says, this is impossible, the crew hears that as, make this impossible. And you forget things, and you mess things up, and you sabotage, and you do everything, because what you think about, you bring about. You know this is true. How many of you have said, hey, it's coming on to November, I always get the flu in November? The crew hears, make her get the flu, it's November. And guess what? You become a friggin' magnet to every stinking virus in town. Why? Because the crew has a one-word vocabulary. So you got to be careful what you say. And in regards to this book, if you put yourself down, if you say you can't do it, you're not credible enough, do it later, no one's going to read it, there's already lots of books on the subject, those are all nonsense things that the crew interprets as an order, meaning make it impossible, make it go slow, make it not credible. So I reprogram my crew with a little exercise called the heart's desire. Now, for those of you who are looking on the video, you see I have a little piece of paper that I do every single day. Every single day, I reprogram my poverty consciousness by writing down my heart's desire every single day. I tell you, you should do this because some of you have got a lot of mindset issues you've got to change, not just for a book, but for a lot of your results in life. This is going to help you do it. This is the magic wand right here. Let me read to you a couple of different things. So I start my day by saying, I'm alive, I'm well, I feel great. Say it with me, come on. I'm alive, I'm well, I feel great. Say it again. I'm alive, I'm well, I feel great. You write that down every day. I write everything. I'm calm, I'm happy, I'm loving, I'm fulfilled. You know, just writing the words, I'm calm every day. And I take out a fresh piece of paper every day and I write that down. I'm calm, I'm happy, I'm loving, I'm fulfilled. How about this one? I experience God, the Heavenly Father's embrace. I was not loved like a boy needs to be loved. And so every day I remind myself that there is a Heavenly Father figure, God, who helps me feel like I'm loved, who loves me and likes me just the way I am. See, I believe my soul was damaged because my father couldn't love me the way a boy needed to be loved. So I write that down every day and it brings me an enormous amount of comfort. I write down that, let me just see here, I bless those with more. Instead of feeling jealous of people who have more, I bless them. I show love to all. Let me just see here. My marriage is a 10 out of 10, not 100. My wife and I, Ann, just celebrated our 34th wedding anniversary, and we got 3 wonderful boys and their wives. We're just so happy and blessed. I selflessly serve Ann with joy. I selflessly serve Ann with joy. Every day I write that down. I don't normally serve anybody. That's not part of my upbringing, but I want to, and I write that down. That sends a message to my crew, and my crew's job is to make that happen. So write down what it is you want. Write down about your book being published. Write down how much money you want to have. I even have the actual address of my dream house. Like, I found a house that I want to get, and I write it down. I live at, and I wrote down the address. Now, the people who live there right now don't know I'm coming over to get that house, but the reality is it's there. It's on its way. I write down that I've got an expensive wardrobe. Let me show you this. If you're looking at the screen, look at that coat. I was in Singapore and I see this jacket, and I put it on. Because I write down every day I have an expensive wardrobe. And I put on this jacket, man, and it was incredible. So I asked the lady, I said, how much is it? I'll take it. No, I didn't ask how much it is. I said, I'll take it. And she goes, oh. And I thought, how much is it? You know what she said? She said $64,000. I couldn't believe it. $64,000. Well, I gently took it off and I didn't buy it because I'm not there yet. But you know what? If you want to reprogram your subconscious mind, do this every day. Take out a fresh piece of paper. I'd suggest you do it in your own handwriting. Don't type it. There's just something about when you write it. It causes picture. I keep it visible, so it's always in my front right pocket. I recommend that you circle one for the day. I recommend that you add and reorder and just keep doing it. Change it around. Include all areas of your life. Be specific. Aim high. Most of you don't allow yourselves to dream enough. You wonder why you're not making the kind of money you want to make. You're not going to the places as fast as you want because you're just aiming too low. Start having faith and dreaming. Keep on going, and I recommend you join me in the 90-day challenge. The 90-day challenge is that you write down every day, you write down what day you're on, and do this for 90 days consecutively. And if you miss a day, start over. And I recommend that you go to this website here, write this down, publishabookandgrowrich.com/CNC, which stands for Captain and Crew. And I've got lots of training I can give you there. I've got that worksheet you can download. It's all free. I want to encourage you. We're currently on a quest right now to have 1 million people around the world doing this every day for 90 days. And you do this once or twice a year, it'll blow your mind, man. but you got to move into action. Listen, folks, you don't become rich by listening to rich people. You get rich by doing what rich people do. So let me ask you now, you haven't participated for a little while. Those of you who are listening to me, if you like this idea, put yes in the chat window. Let me know that this
Hey, we lost your mic. I don't know if you can hear us. Let's see.
Raza, I'm not sure exactly why. Let me just.
You're back. You're back. We can hear you now.
Okay, I'm not sure why, but I lost the must. So let me talk about the must score. So I've been with Tony Robbins on tour, and one of the things Tony says is you don't get your goals, you get your musts. See, the problem with many of you is you've never made getting this book an absolute priority. And my recommendation is that you do that, is that you get your books done by making it a strong priority. So let me ask you to take this quick poll now. How important is this book for you? I want you to take this quick poll. What is your must score? I'm going to launch this poll. We're going to be very quick. We're moving fast. We've got lots of stuff to cover. And I'm not sure how we're going to get through all of the things that we want to get through tonight, but we're gonna try. So go ahead very quickly. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this book for you? Go ahead and pick one of those ones that is where you're at today, and don't feel bad one way or the other. Most of you are saying you're going to get it done. If you're not a 10, you hang around other 10s. Come on, a lot of you have not voted yet. I know it's getting late, but again, I want to make this a very interactive poll, and I encourage you to go ahead and take the poll. And I'll share the results. A lot of serious people on this call, man. That's fantastic. Look at that. Go ahead. We're going to take another 5 seconds. 5. And I'm going to close the poll. 4. Keep going. Just go ahead and vote now. I'm going to close it in 3 seconds. 2, 1. Okay. Stop. Let me share the results. Look at this, guys. Raza, we got some serious people here tonight. Listen, the way to get you can do this, but the way to get there is to hang around those of us who are 10s. The last thing I want to talk about from a motivational point of view is something known as your permission score, and that is you got to give permission to your coaches to coach you. And so I want to, I'll help you. We will help you, but we will never violate your permission. So do you want us to coach you? Do you want us to be honest with you? Let's take a quick poll about your permission. Do you give us permission to coach you? Go ahead and give us your answer to this poll. I'm going to launch this poll now. Let's see what the results are. I want to see who's here. Now, we've been into this webcast now for an hour and a half. We've lost a few people, but that's okay. More have come on. And I want to see who's here. Like, you know who's here? Serious people. Look at this. You're going to love this. Everybody's an 8 up to now. Everybody's an 8 or a 10. From 8 to 10. Everybody. So that's fantastic. I'm going to close the poll in 5 seconds. Go ahead and vote. We still have half of you who have not voted. If you're listening to me, go ahead and vote. Listen, you're going to get more out of this if you're active. Research has shown, folks, that if you're participating in an online webcast, the more you're active, the more you take notes, the more you take polls, the more you participate, the more you're going to learn from this. So go ahead and click on submit. Tell us where you're at in terms of your ability. Come on, we're still going to wait another 5 seconds. Go ahead. 5, 4, 3. If you haven't voted, I'm going to close the poll in a second. I'd like to know where you're at. Do you give your coach, you need a coach to give you permission. You've got to give your coach permission to be honest with you if you want to get help. And I'd be happy to help you. Go ahead and close the poll now in 2 seconds. And let me share the results. Look at this. Well, we got a bunch of you who are really, really serious. Look at that. Most of you fall into the 8 or 9 or above, so fantastic. That's great. All right, let's let's start talking about writing your book. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit later about a program where we'll help you for those of you who need help. Now our program is not inexpensive. It's a phenomenal value at the cost of $5,000, and we've got tons of people in our program. We will talk to you about it more in a minute, but it's a step-by-step process, personal coach assigned to you to get your book done. Now, I'll talk to you about it later. I've got an incredible offer that I'm going to make. If you're sticking around, I'll be happy to show you. Now, let's talk about writing your book, okay? So we have a 7-step system on how to write a book in 40 hours, and it's incredible. Remember, though, that you're not going to get rich by listening to rich people. There's a big difference between listening and learning. See, when you listen, you gather information, but when you learn, you gather knowledge. And there's a big difference between knowing and the most important thing of all is doing. So let's get your book written. Let me show you a 7-step system on how you can get your book written in a hurry. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the writing exercise for a minute, and I want to show you the, one second. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way here. Hold on. I want to let you know this. I want to let you know that what we have to do is get the book out of your head, because you can always edit a bad page, but you can't edit a blank one. And so my recommendation is that you follow a system, and I'm about to give you that system now. I'm going to show you how to write a book by giving you an outline process. So you're going to blueprint your book first. You're going to do all of the outlining. And once you understand how to do these 7 steps, and I'm going to go through them very, very quickly, you're going to go through those steps. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get it out of your head. Then you're going to fix it. Because that's my theme. My theme for our seminars is, whoops, sorry, folks, just one sec. My theme is this: you got to get the book out of your head, you got to get it down, then get it right. You got to get it out of your head, down on paper or in a computer, then fix it. The problem is most of you are trying to write a book in your head. That's why it's not getting done. So let me give you the overview of our 7-step system. I'm going to give you several examples, and I'm going to show you how to get this book out of your head. Are you ready? If you're still ready, type yes. Come on, let me see that you're still here. I want to know that you're still alive and around. Can you hear me okay? Everything good? Everybody okay? You still love me? Thank you, Francis, Jennifer, Cynthia, Allison, Sarah. Good. Aaron's still with us. That's good. Joyce, thank you so much. Francis, Len, all of you. Ken, Mike, Steve. Look at all you folks. Thank you. Okay, well, let's keep going. And again, I'll remind you that there is a workbook that you can download in the handout section where we provide you actual worksheets for all of this that I'm covering tonight. So let me show you the first steps on how to write a book in 40 hours. First, you write down 15 chapter titles. That's relatively simple in concept. You just come up with 15 major topics. Then you cut it down from 15 to 10 and put them in a logical sequence. Now, I'm going to walk you through the various other steps in a minute, but what I want us to do is I'm going to walk you through each one of these steps in a minute, but first I want us to pretend that we're writing a book together as a group. I want to ask you, if we were writing a book on how to become a sales superstar, step number 1, let's go through the steps using this as a metaphor, okay? So if we were writing a book together on how to become a sales superstar, step number 1 says you've got to come up with 15 major topics. So if we were writing a book on how to become a salesperson, what are some of the steps, or what are some of the chapters you would include? Go ahead and start typing chapters that you would include in a book on how to become a sales superstar. If we were writing a book on teaching salespeople how to become better salespeople, what are some chapters that you would put in there? Go ahead and start typing. Let me just wait a second and tell me, what are some topics that you think we should put in that book? Go ahead and start typing. Defining sales. On the side panel, everyone, type in the question section, what are some topics that we would cover in here? Or we've missed the sound. Okay, so how to target people. Okay. What else? How to market to every individual. Supply and demand. What else? Prospecting, Norva. Thank you. Getting past no, Sarah wonders. Okay, good. What other chapters could go in there? Let's have our team type in too, so just help me along. Raza. Get some of the people to type as well. Defining sales, the best closing strategies, profitability. Here we go. Here we go. Defining your market, target population. What else? Okay, self-confidence. Okay, good. So that's what we would do. It wouldn't take us very long, and if it's taking you too long, you're thinking too much. So that's step one. Step two. Step two is to cut it down from 15 to 10 and then put them in some logical sequence. So, whoops, let me go back up for a second. Let me back up. So step number two is to simply come up with a list, take the list of 15, cut it down to 10, and then put them in some logical sequence. So you're not going to write about, I don't know, closing a sale before you type about, I don't know, prospecting. That make sense? How to market to everybody. So that's the step number 1 and 2. That's going to allow you to get your table of contents. Once you've done this, man, you deserve a pat in the back because now you have your table of contents. Okay, so now you know you're going to write on 10 topics. Now what you're going to do for each one of those topics, you're going to now work on the following steps for each chapter. Okay, so let's just take our book on sales. Of course, one chapter could be on attitude. Now what you're going to do is you're going to come up with 18 ingredients for each chapter. And so you just simply come up with a list of 18. You don't argue, you don't think, you just ask yourself, and you don't even worry about what am I going to write about. I'm just saying, just write 18 ingredients. So if you're doing a book on sales, you would come up with a list of 18 ingredients for the chapter on attitude. Just write individual words. That's all you got to do for each chapter. Then the next step is you're going to cut it down from 15 or from 18 to 15 and put them in a logical sequence. So there's a process of culling away information, but you're going to remember the theme for this, which is get it down, then get it right. Okay? So now what you do is you take each one of those ingredients and you turn them into a significant statement. And the beauty of this system is that it uses both the left brain and the right brain. See, by turning each ingredient into a significant statement, you activate the right side of your brain, the creative part. And this is really good for those of you who are not feelings oriented. So in the book on sales, for example, let's just say one of the ingredients is self-confidence. What this step says, you're going to turn each one of those ingredients into a significant statement. So you would say something like this: you have to believe in yourself to win in selling. When you speak that emphatically, it creates neural pathways into the emotional side of your brain, which would normally never have been activated. So you do that for every one of the ingredients. Then you just take that ingredient and flip it into a question. So it looks like this. You said, you've got to believe in yourself to win in selling. That's your significant statement. You flip it into a question by just asking why or how. Why do you have to believe in yourself to win in selling? Because what's going to happen then, the next step, is you're going to come up with 3 answer words, and this book is going to get written by answering questions. So you're going to just listen to what your brain, you're going to ask your brain a question. Why do you have to believe in yourself to win in selling? And then you're going to answer each one of those questions simply. You're going to write down the answer words. So this is part of the blueprint. Well, this book is going to get written because you're going to write for 5 minutes on each one of those answer words. See, later, you're going to write for 5 minutes on each one of those, and each one of those is 5 minutes of writing. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. This book is going to get written by writing for 5-minute chunks at a time. The problem, let me just back up. That is our 7-step system. The problem is most people are looking to write a book the wrong way. And my suggestion is that you do all of the blueprinting first, do all of this outlining so that when you sit down to write, it'll just flow out of you. You've got to trust me on this. These 7 steps is the system that we use in our classes, and we teach this in much more detail in our boot camp. And in the kick in the butt service that we offer, we actually walk you through this step by step with your own individual publishing consultant to blueprint your book and get it written using this fashion. So let me just skip over this story. I hope that this has been helpful for you. If you've got questions about our writing service, then we'll be happy to cover this in your. You could just simply type your questions, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. So I want to move quickly into the last section of our seminar, which is the Fund It section. And I want to remind you at the end, first of all, let me ask you, has this been helpful so far? We still got one major sections left, and I know it's been almost a couple of hours now, and you've been very patient, and I want to continue on. But I got to ask you, has this been helpful? Just go ahead and type. Allison, thank you so much. Jennifer, Joyce, Jessica, thanks so much. Francis, if you think that this has been helpful for you, can you just let me know? I want to make sure. I'm so used to seeing people face to face. Alice, Joyce, Jason, thank you so much. Very helpful. Marco, I appreciate that. You know, because I'm not getting any feedback from you. But so if it is helpful at the end, I remind you that we're going to talk about our kick in the butt service that'll walk you through the blueprinting method. And you said it would be okay if I take a few minutes at the end. Now, this program, again, as I mentioned to you, is a $5,000 program. I am going to do something absolutely incredible. We're going to, instead of charging $5,000, for those of you who've stuck with me the whole time, we're going to offer a few of you scholarships. Now, it's going to be $14.99. But there's only going to be a few scholarships, and I'll show you how to get it in a minute. Don't worry about that for right now, because I want to go on to the most exciting part of the evening now, and it's talking to you about our Fund It section. I'm going to show you, if you're one of the first few who says you want to do this and you want to hire us to kick you in the butt, how I'm going to make a small number of you. I'm going to make these scholarships available. Instead of paying $5,000, you're going to be able to get in on this at $14.99 if the scholarships are still available. Okay, so let's go quickly into funding it and talk to you about how this works. It's an incredible system how to get other people to pay for this. Now, I start off by telling you this because, listen, it costs money to write the book. You got to edit it. You got to have it laid out. You got to hire somebody to design the cover. You got to, if you're going to use it the way I'm recommending, you're going to need a website. You're going to need PR. You're going to need a banner. You're going to need marketing materials. You're going to need media kits. You're going to need press releases. All of these things cost money. How many of you would like to know how to get other people to pay for all of those costs, including the cost to join my kick in the butt service, if that's something you that interests you? How many of you would like to learn how to do that? Yes, yes, yes. Look at all these people. Fantastic. Allison, Norva, Jennifer. Thank you very much, everyone. Good. Look at all the people. Fantastic. So let me show you how to do it. This is a proprietary thing that will show you how to get other people to pay for all the costs related to doing this. So let me skip the revenue calculator. I'm going to show you that in the handout section, there is a revenue calculator there, and where you're going to be able to see the money around this book. I'm going to show you that you can get other people to pay for all of this. So you make sure that you go to the handout section and download the revenue calculator. And let me show you how all this started. So you know that there's an industry in Hollywood called the product placement industry, and basically on TV shows and in movies, you know, when Tom Cruise is holding the can of Diet Coke, that's because somebody paid, Diet Coke paid the movie money for him to hold it, and that is known as product placement. Well, I'm the first guy to come up with that same concept on in book publishing. So this man came to my publishing seminar, and he was a minister. He's doing a book on weddings, and he wanted to join my program, and it was very expensive. And I said to him, if I can show you how to get the money from other people, would you join? He said, yes. So I said to him, why don't we find people who don't compete with you, and we'll sell them an advertising in the back of the book, and that'll pay for all the costs. And he was able to, I think, raise something like $30,000 or $20-some thousand by selling advertising to people who don't compete with him. So I'm going to show you now exactly how to go and get other people to pay for the cost of advertising by advertising in your book. Now I'm going to go through this very, very quickly because I know it's getting late, and some of you have been on forever, and some of you are listening to this in the middle of the night, and so I want to keep going. But essentially, you have an asset in this book, and if you're writing a book, let's say a book on weddings, you're going to sell a page of advertising in the back of your book to a florist, to a limo company, to an insurance agent, maybe to a financial advisor, real estate agent, and that's going to pay for all of these costs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight in a very abbreviated fashion 6 ways to make money with this, and I'll cover them very quickly, and if you've got questions, we'll be happy to answer those questions. But let me cover the sort of foundational principles to start off with. First of all, you got to have the right companies that you're going to go after. So you need to find companies that currently advertise to your target population now, but you don't want to go after big companies because big companies move slow and you want the money right now. What I'm about to show you will show you how you can start making money in the next 4 to 6 weeks. But if you're going to go after big companies, they're going to need to see your book and they're going to need to show it to their legal department, and I want you to bring in money before you write one word. So in the workbook, the first thing on page 32 that you want to do is make a list of 100 prospects you're going to go after, where you're going to sell advertising to them. So to give you an example, if you were doing a book on weddings, the first thing you're going to do up at the top here is you're going to make a list of 10 categories of vendors. And so what you're going to do is before you do anything else, if you're doing a book on weddings, you come up with 10 florists, 10 planners, wedding planners, 10 limo companies. And I'm going to show you what to say in a minute. I'm going to give you the exact script, everything. Everything you need to do that will be given to you in just a minute. Norva, yes, there is a script. I'm going to show you where to get that script in just a minute. I'm going to show you what to say. I'm going to show you what document you're going to need and how to approach them. So, with regards to the categories, do you know which categories you're going to go after? Let me take a quick poll and tell you, let me just see, have we got a poll? I don't see a poll for categories. Oh, here it is. I'm going to launch this poll. I want you to take this poll very quickly. By categories, I want people who don't compete with you but want to get in front of your readers. So go ahead and take this poll. Now we're really speeding things up here. You're going to need to spend more time with this. But the reality is you ask yourself who wants to get in front of your readers, your listeners. And I want you to go after those people. I'm going to just take another 5 seconds to go after this poll. 5, 4. So you just got to come up with 10 people, 10 categories. And if you need help with this, we'll be happy to help you with this later. So I'll just close this poll in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and fill in the poll. I'm going to close it now. Okay, let me see the results. I'll share the results with everybody. I think people still need some help with this. So I'll be happy to give you some help with this in a minute. So some of you still need some approach. The basic approach is you want to go after people who don't compete with you, and I'm going to show you what to say now. But first you need the right attitude. And the right attitude is you're going to go after people and you're going to offer them an opportunity. You're not begging for money. You're going to allow them to advertise in your book. It's a very affordable way. for them to get in front of your readers. Can you imagine if you were a florist and somebody's doing a book on weddings and they approach you to advertise in a book on weddings and you could be the only florist in the back of a book like that? Man, that's a big deal. However, you need to understand this. Most people are going to say no. So you don't worry about it. You've got to have the right attitude. The right attitude is to say something like this. Some will, some won't. So what? I'm doing it anyway. Some will, some won't. So what? I'm doing it anyway. And that's the attitude you need to have. And what you're going to use is you're going to use an interview process. So you're going to phone them up and you're going to interview them for a book. You're going to phone up the florist and say, listen, my publisher wants the book. I'm going to give you the script in a minute. My publisher wants the book to be very practical. I need 20 minutes to interview you about my book because it's a book on weddings or whatever it is. Now, we've had people earn up to $65,000. Mary Beth Haynes, the lady who wrote the book, The Power of Pets, did it. She raised $60-some thousand by interviewing people. So you're going to, this works, folks. This works. You're going to phone people up. You never mention your occupation. You just tell them that you're an author of an upcoming book and that you want the book to be very practical and you need 20 minutes of their time to interview them via Skype for a book. They're going to be blown away. And then what you're going to do is you're going to conduct the interview. You're going to ask them 5 or 6 open-ended generic questions. What are some trends you're observing? What are some mistakes people make? What are some advice you have for my readers? And then you're going to use what I call the Columbo close. Remember Columbo? He would end the interview with the murder suspect, and he would always, the last thing he would say before he left was one more thing. And then you're going to use the same approach. You're going to leave. On your way out of the door, you're going to turn to them and say one more thing. And what you're going to say is this. My publisher has a way for you to benefit from all the publicity and promotion that will happen once my book comes out. Is that something you might want more information about at some point in the future? Well, they're all going to say yes to you on this. And just by the way, we're going to give you all the replay for this webcast, so you'll be able to review this and get this specific script, but it is on page 33 of your workbook. So you're going to interview them. You're going to do lots of interviews. You've got to do a whole bunch of them, and you're going to do measure the results, and it'll blow you away. All right, so let me cover the six ways to make money. The first one is an easy one. It's a simple little card like this. I'll go over it in more detail in a second. But ostensibly, you need to know that this thing works like a charm. This guy, Dan Zaleski, whose book cover you're going to see in a second, Dan Zaleski brought in $27,000 just with this little card. And so it works. You're going to print this little card. You're going to do it exactly the way you see on your screen now. This is a small 8.5 by 2-inch card. And basically what you're going to do, one of the things you could do is start selling your book. When somebody asks you what you do for a living, don't tell them what you do for a living. Nobody cares about that. Tell them that you're the author of this upcoming book and give them one of these cards. Now, what's interesting about this card is that it's very beautifully done. Your book cover needs to be on there. It's printed on both sides. It's perforated along this line here. And what you do is you just put the card in their hand and ask them if they'd consider buying a copy of it. Now, why would somebody buy a copy of the book that you haven't even started yet? Because of the bonus. I want you to offer everybody some form of a bonus that if they buy the book today, even though the book may not be out for 6 or 9 months from now, they can get access to that bonus, and the bonus is worth more than the price of the book. And that bonus might be everything from, like Aaron, in your case, it might be a free chiropractic visit. It may be a home study course. It may be a seminar ticket. It may be a one-on-one consultation. It may be a second opinion. Give them something that's worth more than the value of the book. You could print up a little card like this. It costs you next to nothing. And listen, will some people say no? Of course. But Dan Zaleski had $27,000 of people saying yes. That's one wet method. And it's one method that'll work for most of you. Now, the method that is probably the most powerful is the selling of ads in the back of the book. So Mary Beth, who wrote a book on how to overcome pet loss, did a section at the back of the book, and you're going to do the same in yours, called Resources the Author Recommends. And you sell a page of advertising to other vendors that don't compete with you but want to get in front of your listeners. So in Mary Beth's case, she went after a crematorium, a pet cemetery, a veterinarian. You would make a list of people who you want to sell a one-page advertisement to, and you use and you get them to agree to buy 100 copies of your book. And if they buy 100 copies of your book, you're going to put up an ad in the back of the book, and it's fabulous. So you basically say something like this. My publisher has a way, he wants to make the book very practical, so I'm doing a section at the back of my book entitled Resources the Author Recommends. And I'd like to offer you a one-page advertisement in that book. And so if they agree to buy 100 copies of your book, you're going to give them an ad in the back of the book. So what you're going to see when you download the workbook by going to the handout section over to the right there, you'll
Sorry, Jerry, we can't hear you. Yeah, give it about 10 seconds, maybe.
Okay.
You're back.
Francis, can you hear me now, Francis? Everybody, can you just type if you can hear me? Okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah, now we're okay.
Okay, good. So what I was saying is, if you go and you download the handout, which I'm giving to you for free, I'm such a nice guy, you'll create a document like this using the template that you'll be able to download in our workbook. And you're going to use this document to help sell the ads. Now, when you join our Kick in the Butt service, we'll do it for you, and we'll design it according to a fabulous plan. Let me give you a couple of other methods that you could use. One is you can upsell them. You can upsell them into a feature profile. This is a two-page advertisement that could be much more than just an ad. And again, we'll give you much more training on this later, but this is a way for those people who really like the idea. Maybe you write about them in a case study or include them in your book somehow as best practice, giving them more than just a page of advertising. And maybe you use this if they buy one of your premier packages, instead of just a one-page ad, maybe they agree to buy 200 books, and you'll give them this. Another way you can raise more money is by selling a bonus chapter, where they literally contribute a chapter in the back of your book. So that's what Jean Ann Durrell did when she wrote her book, Protect Yourself. She's the financial advisor. She sold a page of advertising she sold a book chapter to a law firm. And so you can do the same things too. And she charged $7,500. And so I know that may seem like a lot of money to you, but don't sell based on your bank account or what you think you can afford. Sell based on value. And if you were to let somebody write a bonus chapter and you only have one per book, don't think that 10,000 is too much or 5,000. Listen, that's a very, very prestigious thing for them to advertise in a very unique way in a book. And so sell them a bonus chapter. They submit 10 or 20 pages to your book. It has to be people who have a complementary but not competing position with you. But the book has to be good. The chapter has to be very good information. It can't be, 20 pages on why they're the best law firm in town. Does that make sense? Bonus chapter. Start thinking about how you can sell it. I recommend a minimum of $7,500. Another thing you could do is use your book to sell speeches. And so that's what this lady did. And you can all do the same sort of thing. In her case, she does a book on how to improve the self-esteem of children. She wants to speak. So I said, send a letter to all the Montessori schools in town. Tell them that you will forego your speaking fee if they will agree to have and sponsor an event that is designed to do 3 things for them. So it's a marketing event, it's a customer appreciation event, and it's a fundraising event, all in one. So you send this letter, and this letter is an incredible thing because you're going to conduct an event, a speech, in the evening, and they're going to send tickets to all of their prospects, all of their existing customers, and to a charity, and you're going to conduct an event, and you're going to provide them with a great event. All they have to do is agree to buy 100 copies of the book. So I want you to write down this URL, and this URL will show them where, if you take this, this is the script for the letter if you're looking to do speaking engagements. Just go to tinyurl.com/page 53. We won't go through this now, but this is the letter you send to prospects where you will conduct an event. They will invite prospects, their existing customers, and charity to this event, and it'll allow you to speak much more, but instead of getting paid a speaking fee, they're agreeing to buy 100 copies of your book. If they buy 100 copies of your book, you then will help them sell those books at the end of your end of your speech, at the end of your seminar, and they keep all the money. So it becomes a self-funding marketing event for them. It's a great concept. We've had people do this in all kinds of different areas. Let's say you teach women how to avoid being ripped off when they get their car fixed. Well, you conduct the event in the garage. They give away tickets to your event. You got to give them the tickets. You got to give them the brochures. You got to give them the letter. But they invite everybody. They conduct, as Leanne does these seminars in the bay. So they have a car in the garage. They put 20 or 30 seats around. She then teaches, okay, watch when you're getting your car fixed. Make sure that they don't do this and they don't do that. And it's just a fabulous way for her to get speaking engagements. Now, what she does is she tells people if they buy a copy of the book that night, they get a free oil change too. So again, it just becomes a great customer appreciation event because the dealership invites all their existing clients to come and listen to this author. She invites all of the prospects, and so in the advertisement that they take out every week, they say free seminar, and they invite people to that. And then they give a portion of the proceeds to the Cancer Society, which they support. So it's just a win-win situation all the way around. The last thing, and I'm going to go through this last one very quickly because I want to get to our kick in the butt service, is to use the order form close. The order form close is if you're ever invited to speak, you place an order form on every seat, and that's what Ann Lim did. She came to me one time and she said, "Jerry, you're not going to believe what happened, but I made $5,100 last night." Man, oh man. Sorry, let me go back. I made $5,100 last night, and I said, "How did you do that?" She said, "Well, I went to a conference yesterday, and you said that we should never tell people what we do for a living." She said, "You should tell them that we're the author of an upcoming book." And I told people that I was an author of an upcoming book called Mad Dogs and Crazy Cats. And she said everybody was so blown away because they had never met an author. Now, I was just a regular attendee at this conference, and guess what? They invited me to speak that night. She said, "We're having a networking event. Would you like to speak in the evening for 10 or 15 minutes about your book?" Well, why would they invite her to do that? Why? Well, of course they invited her to do that because more people are going to show up to the networking event if they know an author is coming. And she said, I said I would be willing to do it provided I could put an order form on every seat. And she said, I put an order form on every seat. I talked about my book for 10 or 15 minutes. And I asked them to consider buying a copy of my book tonight. And I gave a great bonus. I forget what the bonus was. I think it was 4 webinars. And she said 171 people handed in that form. She said, I made $5,100 last night. I said, how's the book coming, Ann? She put her head down and said, listen, I haven't started yet. Listen, if you take money for a book, folks, you got to finish the book. But I know this of you who are listening, and thank you so much for staying online for so long with me. But I'll tell you something, I know you, and the thing is, if you collect money, you will finish the book. And that's exactly what Ann did. And so how much would you like to raise? Let's take a poll now. And I want you to tell me, how much do you think you would like to raise for your book? Now, I've gone through this very quickly. I'm going to launch this poll, but how much money would you like? We've had all kinds of people raise way over $15,000. Some, we've had one raise $65,000. Tell me, how much money would you like to raise for your book? And if you need more help with this, then just go ahead and put that in there, and we'll get somebody to help you with that too. But I'm only going to keep this poll open for a few seconds. I want you to think about how much money would you like to raise, because you got to pay for the printing of your book. You got to pay an editor. You got to pay a graphic artist to design the cover and do the layout. You got to hire an editor. You're going to need a website for your book. You're going to need brochures. You're going to need possibly a roll-up banner if you're going to speak. You're going to need lots of different things. How much do you want? Let's go ahead. I know you've been listening patiently, but not enough of you are filling in this poll. Come on, I'm only going to take another 5 seconds. Less than half of you are responding now. Come on, you're getting tired on me. Yeah, you're getting tired on me. Come on, I'm giving you everything I got. There you go. Go ahead. How much would you like to raise? These are just quickly, I've given you 5 or 6 methods on how you can raise money. I'm going to close the poll in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, come on, 2. Here we go. I'm going to close the poll. Most of you want to raise between, let me just share the results very quickly so you can see. Most of you want to raise above 15,000. Still, some of you are still uncertain about how you're going to do that. We'll get you that information on how you can do it. But let me talk to you now as I wind this thing down. Stay with me. Has this been helpful for you, folks? Let me go ahead and talk to you about our publishing program, because I know that some of you are listening to this in the middle of the night. You've been on this already for over 2 hours. Thank you so much for listening. And we haven't lost hardly anybody, so I'm appreciative of that. And we got people from around the world. So let me tell you, first of all, we're going to talk to you about our Kick in the Butt service. I need you to know, with regards to this, how much do you need a kick in the butt? Go ahead and fill in this poll. Right now, I've talked to you about a lot of things, and I've gone through it in a very fast manner. Tell me, some of you, I want you to take this poll. I'm only going to take another minute or so, but tell me, where are you at? Do you need a kick in the butt to get your book done? Do you need somebody? Do you have questions about some of the stuff I'd mentioned before? Come on, let me go ahead. I'll talk to you about this in a minute. I'm going to cover the minute. The money in a minute, how the money works, but I'm going to show you how to get other people to pay for my costs. Go ahead and fill in the poll, and then let me cover if you can just stay with me for a few minutes. I want to show you how I can kick you in the butt and make this. If you've got questions, I'm going to close the poll in 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, come on, go ahead and fill it in. And then let me tell you quickly about how my publishing program works. And I'm also going to show you how the money works and how I'm going to give a scholarship to a few of you. I said that this has been sold for $5,000. I'm going to give a poll. So I'm going to give a scholarship to a few of you who stay with me for a few minutes. And get this, for a few of you, I'm going to let you in on this for 3 payments of $665. Let me show you what you're going to get if you do this. Let me go through this very quickly. I want to take, just give me a second here. I want to show you what you get when you come into our Kick in the Butt service. So just give me a second here, folks. If you want to get started with me, I want to take you now. Let me show you what we're offering you in this Kick in the Butt service. Folks, when you come into this Kick in the Butt service, it's designed because most of you want to get your books done. but you need a coach. Look at what you get when you join our Kick in the Butt service. Our Kick in the Butt service is what we call a push button system. Your push button system makes sure that you do this. Once it's done, you push the button, and then you go to the next level. You go to the next level. Because if you've been thinking about writing a book for a while, now you got to get it done. Look at all the things that you get. First of all, it has the entire system here. First, we nailed the title. So you click on this, and we walk you through now, step by step, on how to get your cover, your title done according to the way we do it. Now, what's good about this system is that it's a push-button system. What that means is you do the work, then you click done, and then it tells you what's the next step. But you always have live help. So if you ever need help, you just click on the system, you click on the link. There's always somebody here to help you. And so you just simply fill in the details here on your name, phone number, and so on. And I need help with my title. And you click on chat, and within a matter of seconds, somebody will be here to help you. Our team work on this. We have a customer satisfaction team who are always here to help you, and you have instant chat with your coach. There's people around to help you with the chat. And so 24/7, I'm on now with Alvin. How may I help you? This is Jerry. And what do you think of my title? And you just would, you would type your title, and then Alvin, who's one of our senior publishing consultants, will help you. And what's great about this is you're never left alone in this way. If you're stuck, somebody will be here to help you 24/7, and that's what's beautiful. So let's look at what you get when you join our Kick in the Butt service. You're going to get help with your title. You're going to have us design your front book cover. And so you'll just follow the steps. We're going to design an awesome book cover. This is the first thing we do, because you're going to need your book cover in order to start raising money to pay for everything. Andrea, who's from Romania, got her book cover done within a matter of weeks, and within a matter of just a few days, she was able to raise $20,000 or $30,000 or euros to pay for her program. And she used this cover. We show you exactly what to do. We tell you exactly how to do it. And then there's a process. You follow the process. Now, again, if you're ever stuck, you just click on here to the live help, and you'll get somebody to help you instantly. And this is a fabulous thing. We design your cover. We design all of your marketing materials. So in order for you to raise the money, you need to have an advertising kit. You need to have a media kit. So you just click on the link. Look, it walks you step by step on how to do it. You download the template. You just click on the button. It downloads the template directly to your email. You will then be able to customize your media kit. Now, I won't go through the whole thing here because we have to move on, but everything you need in this media kit is all here. You just simply edit the thing. Where you see his picture, you put your picture. It says to put a quote here. We show you exactly what to say and where to put it. You customize it just like this guy does, and it's a step-by-step process. We create all of your marketing materials. Now, the best part is we show you how to find sponsors to pay for everything. Once you're in our program, we'll show you step by step on how you can get your your cover design, your media kit, your list of advertisers, interviews, how to start doing the interviews, how to sell advertisements, how to sell a feature profile, how to sell a bonus chapter. You just follow the whole thing step by step. All of the training is all here as well. Everything you need to fund your entire book is right at your fingertips. Everything from the feature profile, how to do interviews, who to interview, how to do the interviews, how to close the sale. Everything is here for you. What tone of voice you need to use, how to upsell. Everything that you need is right at your fingertips. And so it's all right there for you. When you're done, it gives you samples, the whole thing. The thing that you need to understand, folks, is this is a kick-in-the-butt process from start to finish. You get your own coach. You get how to write the book, how to prepare for print. We show you exactly where to go to get it printed, how to launch your book, and then how to make money with the book. This is a very, very intensive program for you to get all of this. There are monthly webinars. There is a live coach available for you all of the time. Now, I'm going to make this final offer for you where you're able to get this for 3 payments. Now, listen to this. Now, you gotta be a person of action. Instead of paying $5,000, we're going to let a few of you in if the scholarships are available. Now, there are hundreds and hundreds of people watching this. I'm only making a few scholarships available at $14.99. These are US dollars. If you get in on this right away, you can choose to pay $14.99 or 3 payments of $665. That's 3 monthly payments. So I want you to go right now to this website. Now, what's going to happen when you go to this website? If scholarships are available, you fill in your name and you hit submit. Instantly, it will tell you whether there is still scholarships available. For every webcast that we do, we make a few people who are active, who are movers and shakers. If you want to get your kick-in-the-butt coach, it'll tell you if you're one of the first few to get in. Now, it's still worth it if the scholarship are not available at $5,000. But I want you to go there right now. If you are willing to invest in your future, if a book is a must and you realize you can't do it alone, if you realize that you need help and you want somebody like us, if you've gotten some benefit out of the last 2 or 3 hours, imagine working one-on-one with our publishing consultants. Imagine having the coach walk you through on how to have the motivation to keep going. And when you get off track, they keep you focused, keep you moving towards your goal. To have all of the training, to plan the right book, to fund the right book, to find the ways to pay for all of this. Listen, folks, we got people all over the world who are bringing in thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars using our proprietary methods. Now, we've gone through it very quickly tonight. You'll have much more in-depth training on videos. You get access to my home study course. You can come to every one of the live seminars, and we do seminars in your area. We do over 100 boot camps, live boot camps every year. These are Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. You get to come to those. You can bring a friend. You get to access to all of the webinars that we do, all of the templates, but you got to act fast. If you have questions, I want you to type the questions, and I'll be happy to answer the questions in the window. I want to thank you for being part of this webcast. I'm going to leave this on, and thank you so much. If you want to sign up, Norva, go right now. Sign up to this. And again, what I want you to do is to go fast, because we only make a certain number of scholarships available. And when you hit submit, it'll tell you whether you're in fast enough or not. So go ahead and do that now. Thank you so much for those of you who are saying that you've enjoyed tonight. If it's okay, would you please go there now and sign up. Listen, folks, I want to coach you. I help people all over the world. The proof is in the pudding, folks. We show you how to get your book done. I want to let you know that we are the real deal. If you hire us to be your coach, you got to be serious. Now, and if you're not willing to pay $1,400, $1,500, don't even apply. If you don't see the value of what you've gained tonight, it's worth. I think what you've gained just tonight is worth $1,500. But if you want to come in 3 payments of $665, you'll get off the nail and you'll do something. I want to end tonight by sharing that one story about the nail, because some of you need this kick in the ass. A man was walking down the road and he could hear a dog crying for 2 or 3 blocks. And so when he got to the man's house, he went and he said, "Sir, there's something wrong with your dog." And the guy said, "There's nothing wrong with my dog. He's just a dumb, lazy old dog." And he said, "The problem is he's sitting down on a nail." "What do you mean he's sitting down on a nail? Is he sick?" "No, he's not sick. I told you, he's just a dumb, lazy old dog. And he's sitting down on a nail." "Well, why doesn't he get off the nail?" He said this. He said, "The nail that he's sitting on hurts him enough to make him cry and complain, but it doesn't hurt him enough to make him get off the nail." Do you get the analogy here? If wanting a book is not an absolute must for you, if it's just something you keep talking about, then just pass on this offer. But if you know you gotta do something, you gotta get off the nail. You gotta take a chance on yourself. This is worth every penny. This kick in the butt service is going to make sure that you're not left alone. We're going to hold you accountable. We're going to train you. We're going to provide your cover. We're going to provide your marketing materials. We're going to provide you with everything you need to sell advertisements. You'll never be left alone. But the other thing we're going to do is we're going to kick your behind. Because some of you, you need to get a good swift kick in the ass to get this book done. Let us do it. And let me tell you something. If by now, after listening to us for 2.5 hours, if you're not motivated and excited, if you're not willing to invest $665 for a month, for 3 months, this is not for you. It may be another year, maybe another 10 years before your book comes out. If you're serious, we want to help you. We are the absolute biggest and best book publisher in the world, helping people use entrepreneurial publishing to further their cause. And so that's what I want you to do. Now, the ball's in your court. Are you just going to fool around with your book, or are you going to get it done? What's your vote? I want you to go to this website that you see on your screen right now. We're going to leave this on for the next several minutes. We won't end this webcast. We're going to leave this on. Go there now and get your book started by joining our Kick in the Butt service. Come on, take a vote. Don't wait another minute. The problem is you have a paradigm of postponement. So still, folks, get your books done. Don't postpone. Go now. Invest a few bucks. I'm going to show you how to get other people to recoup that money, but you gotta stand up for yourself, folks. That's what I want you to do. This is Jerry Robert, all the way from Stockholm, Sweden. I thank you for listening. I'm still going to be around. If you've got questions, just go ahead and type it. Let me just see your boot camp. I booked at Andy's event. Yes, come to our boot camp. But Joyce, but for sure, get in on this kick in the butt service to start off with. If you've paid already to come to our boot camp, come join on this at this discounted rate. We've never offered this before. This is our first chance. Get a coach, get accountable, get trained, get your book. I'm going to thank you so much for listening to this. We'll just leave this screen on for a little while. Thank you so much, everybody. Go get your books done. If you've got questions, just type them in the question section, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much, everybody. Look at all those people signing up already. Norma, God bless you. Thank you so much. I see you're signing up. This is Jerry Roberts signing out for now. God bless. Good night, good health, and good wealth.